Hey y'all, how you perking? I hope you're perking good. So, as you've seen by the title and the trigger warning, this is a heavy one. I have already tried filming this a couple of times today, and I'm just resigned to the fact that it's gonna be messy. I'm gonna have jump cuts. I'm gonna have to pause when I get choked up. It is what it is. Bear with me. So as you see from the title, my daddy died. And in fact, it happened 2 hours before my live stream was supposed to happen yesterday. So that's why I just couldn't, that's why I just couldn't. It's not that I don't want to cry in front of you or can't cry in front of you. I am very much a mental health advocate here on the channel, as you know. That's my field that I work in. But just the simple fact is I am one of those ugly criers that I can't hardly talk when I'm crying. I am totally unintelligible when I cry. People can't hardly understand a word I say when I cry. So I'm gonna keep, having to pause or put cuts in here when I start choking up, because I can't really speak when I'm crying, and I just need to be able to talk. So that's why. Also, before I even get into the nitty gritty of this, I'm just gonna go ahead and put it out there. Yes, there will be ads in this video. I don't want to put ads in this video. I feel like it's tacky to put ads in this video. But to be honest, I quit one of my jobs to help out with my daddy, which I have been doing. And I only make on average about $35 per video that I put out anyway. So just bear with the ads and let me have my damn $35, At this point, I could use it. So as most of y'all know already, the hey y'all, how you perking? I hope you're perking good. That comes from my daddy, That is what my dad has always said to us. He's always said, how you perking? You perking okay? You perking good? Or if one of us was sick, Alma's perking puny today, or, that kind of a thing. I know people say that in the South, but that's where I heard it in my family. That's where it comes from in my family. And so, that somehow made it to be the intro of all my videos over the years, and I credit all that to Daddy. Also, if a lot of you have followed me for some time or have been on my Twitter, then a lot of you know that I get my sense of humor from my daddy too. Y'all have seen me make tweets, Twitter posts, whatever the fuck they're called, with lots of daddyisms and stories and stuff like that, because the man's hilarious, just always funny, all the time, always witty, and I wish I could be like that more, but anything that I do have, I owe that to him. I think I even have a clip that I can show you about one day, not too long ago, when he bought a broom. So if I can find it, I'll insert it here. What did you say? You bought Mama what?
A new car.
Yeah. I bought your mama a new car.
You know where you had to send all this to,
yeah. So yeah, there's so many examples, I couldn't even begin to tell you everything. But he's also, interestingly enough, where I get my psychic abilities from. A lot of people say psychic abilities run in families, and I think that there's a lot of truth to that. And I know it's true for my family. This entire channel here that I do tarot cards and, spirit messages and, just inspirational, nice, useful stuff like that. And I get that ability from Daddy. He would never have called himself psychic. He didn't think of himself that way. But whenever we were growing up, he used to tell us stories about how he could close his eyes and then he could imagine himself going out of his body and doing these things. But the way he was describing it, come to find out, those were out-of-body experiences. It wasn't just imagining, because he would be seeing things that he wouldn't have seen if it was just his imagination. They were real things really happening. So he was the one that could do that. He had that ability. I remember when we were kids, my sister and me, y'all know Alma, the twin. I remember when we were kids, we used to sit out in the driveway waiting for the school bus to come in the morning to pick us up, and Daddy would always be, 2 cars, 1 truck, a van, and then the bus will come. And every time, every morning, didn't matter what he said, he was right. He was right. And so we're always like, Daddy, you lucky guesser, because we didn't know that there was a thing, that was a thing, but it was too much to happen by chance. And he would know that for the red lights too. He would know when we were going to hit red lights versus green lights and when they were going to change, and not just by counting down, by seeing the other lights in the area and stuff like that. Just a lot of things. Even recently, whenever we had to take him to the emergency room for the last time, Alma went with him, and the first time he was in the hospital, he was in room 810. And when we had to go back to the emergency room, he looked at Alma and he said, "They're gonna put me back in 810. And she's like, "No way, it's been over a week, maybe 2 weeks. That room's bound to be occupied by now. There's other rooms. No way. That would be weird." And what do you know? He got put back in room 810. So yeah, this entire channel, literally my intro is Daddy. The humor that I might have every once in a while, certainly not in this video, I reckon, is Daddy. And being psychic in general, having this ability and the ability to use that here with y'all in videos and in private readings and in energy healing sessions and things like that, I get from him. So without him, I probably wouldn't have this channel. Also, as I've already told y'all, most of you would know, I grew up being so close to Daddy. I was a daddy's girl that I used to have panic attacks at nights when I was a kid, worrying about the day that he was gonna die and worrying about how that would be, and it was just my worst fear. It was my worst nightmare. I could never dream of anything worse than that. And I knew the day would come, and I knew that worrying about it would be pointless, but I couldn't help myself. It would happen anyway. I've been kind of uptight about it all throughout my life, where I even save all the voicemails that I get from him. And, when you delete voicemails, I always save his, because I'm always like, what if I need to hear his voice someday, and things like that. And I know that sounds crazy and it's a little too much, air quoting it as I say that. But it always brought me comfort to do that. And now that he's gone, I'm glad that I did. I'm glad that I did, because I needed that. But here's just some pictures showing about, how I've been a daddy's girl. Hell, I even look like the man, And so for most of you here, you also know he was diagnosed with cancer, with leukemia, AML type, on July 1st of this year. And 26 days later, he passed away. That was both the fastest 26 days of my life and also the longest 26 days of my life. And believe me, there was a lot of really, really fucking traumatic times that, trust, I won't tell you about. I won't dive into that with y'all because I care about you too much to go into depth about that. So suffice it to say that Daddy was very confused and scared, because who wouldn't be? And so it was a lot. It was a lot. There's some shit I'll never unsee. That you can never unhear. But some things that I'm grateful for. I'm grateful that in some ways, that it wasn't like a sudden heart attack or a sudden car accident or something. I'm grateful that as hard as it is, and as hard as it is to prolong something, and as hard as it is that you can never be prepared, I am grateful that I had some time, to think, or for it to sink in a little or something, even if it never really does. I feel blessed for that. I also feel blessed that that there were some small things, like the fact that Alma, my twin sister, got the last I love you out of Daddy. And I was the last person that he ever saw. I was the last person that he ever spoke to. And I was the last person to feed him and give him stuff to drink. And I feel blessed for that too. I do. And so here's some video clips that I feel blessed for us to have about some of those lasts that I was just telling you about.
This is the family chat.
Family chat. Hey, Proof.
Proof. Here he is.
Proof.
Still alive.
What you think about your visit, your plans around 3 o'clock? Oh, you lowered your bed.
Oh, what?
Your plans. B and Grammy bringing you your underpants.
Oh. They don't need to be fondling them.
Don't fondle your underpants. And then I asked him if he had a sponge bath, and he said no. And what did you say about yourself?
I don't know what I say.
You said you were raunchy.
Yeah. You know. Huh?
What'd you say?
They don't want you to smell me.
The ones that gotta smell you, your raunchy ass. Bone marrow biopsy.
Oh, bone marrow biopsy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I got that. I just had it. Been kind of dry, so. Anyhow.
Bed and fix your bed because your call button was going on. Yeah, too much. We're gonna have ourselves an after lunch nap time.
Yeah. Well.
These are his pee buckets. We had our food sit next to pee buckets.
Yeah.
Yep. Living that high life.
Now.
You're hygiening yourself. You look so beautiful.
It's got directions for cleaning the shower.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Hey.
Hey, William.
Hey, William. Hey, Al. I love you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Papa's doing good. We'll see you a little later, okay, huh?
Yeah.
I love you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, babies. We'll see y'all later. Papa's doing all right.
Take the picture.
Nice, proving to Alma that you're eating.
Oh.
Yeah. The good stuff.
I think I'm gonna get you to bring Emma to come see him tomorrow.
Okay.
He's doing better than I am. He's doing okay.
Also, the last night, obviously we didn't know it was the last night, but the last night, I stayed all night with him in the hospital. Alma had stayed with him all night the night before, and so I wanted to stay with him all night the next night. And the nurses were very kind and compassionate and allowed us to do that, even if it broke policy. So I did. And amid a few panic attacks during the night, me, not him, thank God, I was praying to his transition team, to the loved ones and light beings and angels who were prepared to help him transition when it was his time. And I was praying to them and talking to them out loud in the hospital room. And I was saying, I'm having a hard time not having panic attacks because the person that I see in front of me doesn't seem like my daddy anymore. And I just want to know from y'all, is he still here? Or is he already, kind of gone? Or is he kind of half in, half out, Just give me some signs about where he is so I can know. And I said, I know it's selfish to ask. You're his transition team. But I ask that as you transition him, can you please also be transitioning me? And when I asked that, he hadn't moved in that bed. I asked it probably around, midnight, 2 a.m., somewhere early in the morning hours, and he had not moved in that bed for probably about 12 hours before that, for that whole time. But when I asked for that sign, in the bed, he went like this and just kind of rubbed himself and went like that with his nose. And that's something I do all the time that Julio laughs at me about, that I'm like that. And he's like, damn, you gotta do that to your whole face, And I'm like, yeah, I don't know. That's just how I itch my nose. And that's how Daddy does it too. That's how he always did it. And he did that. And so for a split second, he not only moved, but he did one of his, mannerisms, his classic daddy mannerisms. So that I could recognize that it was still him. And I was thankful to the guides for doing that. And I felt blessed at that time too. And I said my thank yous. And of course I went over there and checked on him and was asking if he needed anything, if he could hear me. And I'm not sure if he could or if he did, but we just wanted to have a butt in the room, as Alma says. Alma says, just have a butt in the room, even if it doesn't look like he's awake or understands, just have a butt in the room. And so that's what we did. Then when morning finally came and I had been there at the hospital for 16 hours straight, Alma came and, we were swapping. Alma came and she told me to go home and to try to rest, try to eat, try to shower, try to something. And of course I didn't want to leave. And she never wants to leave when it was her turn either. But I did. I left. So I did get in the car to leave and go home. And while I was stopped at a red light there, right by the hospital, as soon as I pulled out of the hospital, the first red light that's right there outside of the hospital, I just felt like I needed to look to my left. So I did, and I looked to my left. And What I'm about to explain to you is probably going to sound weird, especially since I'm about to reference a horror movie, which would seem like that's not a good idea to reference right now, or that it wouldn't be comforting to reference right now. But I'm referencing it because this is how my psychic abilities work for me. This is how my signs work for me. When I read tarot, and I've told y'all before, when I read tarot cards, it's like the pictures or the words or things will stand out, and they'll remind me of one thing and another thing and another thing, and I might be reminded of some images, or I might be reminded of some words, or I might be reminded of some scene in a movie or something, and all those things that reminds me of just kind of poof comes to me all in one moment, and I know what it means. I know what the sign means, and I'm sure plenty of y'all have had those moments too with all kinds of things, and that's beautiful. We as people, we're all capable of doing that. I know not everyone considers themselves psychic, but we're all capable of noticing signs and understanding them and interpreting them, and this is one for me. So when I looked over to my left, I saw a red balloon. A red heart-shaped balloon, actually, floating loose in the wind from God knows where, going God knows where. And I was able to take a little clip of it real quick before I started driving. So here's the clip. See that red balloon way out there in the distance? And when I saw that red balloon, I was like, oh, red balloon, that reminds me of something. What does that remind me of? Spirit guides, give me the sign, give me the sign. And they gave me the sign from the movie The Sixth Sense. And here's a picture of that red balloon there. And I know that's a scary movie, but back in the day, because it was a Bruce Willis movie, it was one of mine and Alma's favorite movies, and we loved it. And it was deep, and it was suspenseful, and it was a psychological thriller, and I loved it back in the day. And in that movie, M. Night Shyamalan used the color red to signify a very important thing, which is this. And so when I saw that red balloon, I knew it was his transition team coming back to tell me that now that my shift was over, he was ready. He was already basically gone. I told them to give me updates, and they gave me updates the night before to say he was still in there, and they gave me updates then to tell me he was basically out. So I immediately called Alma and told her about the sign, and I knew it was going to happen that day. I knew it was going to happen. And again, I felt blessed to have that sign. So then I got home, I did all the stuff that I felt like I could do, which wasn't much. It took me like 4 hours just to try to eat a little bit. And by eat a little bit, I mean it took me 4 hours to drink a protein shake and to take my shoes off and my sunglasses off from getting home. It took 4 hours to do that. I was so wiped out and drained and nauseated and everything. And I was like, oh no, this is not good, because I got to get back up there. I was just going to get refreshed and I was going to get back up there. I can't be feeling like this. This is horrible. I'm not going to be able to drive. And so I got in touch with my boyfriend, Julio, Rico, as y'all know. I call him Rico. And I told him, I need you to drive me there, because there's no way I'm going to be able to drive. I am so dizzy all of a sudden and so sick all of a sudden. And just like suddenly, I can't even hardly stand up. I can't drive myself back over there. I need to drive myself back over there. And that's when I got the call from Alma. And Alma said, he just passed away. And as soon as she said that, instantly, I was no longer sick. I was no longer dizzy. Nothing was in my way anymore. And I realized that was a sign too. I realized that was the transition team too. Because they know what all of us can take and what we can't take, and they know what Daddy wanted and what he didn't want. And they knew that I wouldn't be able to be in the room when he took his last breath. They knew that. So they made me too ill to go. And they knew Alma would be messed up if she wasn't there. So she was the only person in the room when it happened. At the time, my mom was at the hospital too, but she had just stepped out to go to the bathroom for just a little bit. And it was just Alma and Daddy in the room. And Daddy wouldn't have wanted to go with Mama there because they got married in 1966, which means they've been married for over 50 years, and they were together longer than that. So they've been a pair for like 60 years, and he couldn't go with her in the room. But he needed Alma to be there. Because Alma was the one that was handling being the middleman between him and his medical team. The medical team would say all the jargony medical shit that he couldn't understand, and Alma would interpret it and be the translator and tell him what that meant. And so he needed Alma to be there to tell him what this meant, and that it was time, and that it was okay to go, and that she was there. So the transition team gave her what she needed, gave Daddy what he needed, gave me what I needed. And when I got the call that he passed away at 3:56 p.m. yesterday, which I guess is a Tuesday? I don't know at this point, maybe. And y'all know me and my angel numbers and doing tarot with Uno cards and all the signs and things. Let me show you what the 356 angel number means. So once again, blessed to have that too. Blessed to have that too. We're planning for the funeral to be this Friday, so I'm gonna be out of commission for a little while, okay? And so I just ask that everyone give me a couple of days, just a few days to get my shit together, to cope, and then I'll be back. Because like I've said before, I've been given this gift to help people, and so when I use it, it makes me feel better. When I use it, it raises my vibration. When I use it, I feel blessed for being able to help people with my gifts that were given to me. I can't read tarot or be psychic for myself. They gave me the gift so that I can give it away. And I love doing that with you and for you. But I can't for a couple of days, just a couple of days. But then after that, I want to get right back into it. I have sessions planned for next week, about a week away. Just give me a little bit of time, and I look forward to those. I genuinely do look forward to those. And like I said, I quit one of my jobs so that I could help with Daddy, and I still need to be out of that because there's still more family stuff that I'm gonna need to help with. There's more loose ends that I'm gonna need to tie. And my mom is now living on her own, and she doesn't drive because she has poor vision and cataracts and things like that, and she can't drive. And so I'm still gonna very much so need to help my family. I'm gonna need to pitch in all the ways that Daddy used to be able to. And so I still am only gonna have these couple of jobs that I have left. So I'm happy to get right back into this for spiritual reasons, for emotional reasons, for my own mental sanity, and for financial reasons. I am ready to dig back in. very soon. So just bear with me with that. And then the last thing I'm gonna say here, I know it sounds stupid to say this, maybe even petty, maybe even trite, maybe even tacky or eye-rolly to say this, but I have found out, the hard way, and a lot of other people have too, that not everybody does well when people pass away, and not everybody knows what to say or knows what to do. And so I'm just gonna put this stupid little picture up here real quick. And I know y'all are the best subscribers in the world, the best viewers in the world. I'm only saying that for other people that come in that, might want to start talking about their problems, to where I feel like I need to counsel them in the comments right now. And right now I'm kind of blinded by my own pain. I kind of can't look at anybody else's pain right this second, just for a couple of days. Or other things like that people sometimes say that are unhelpful. And so I'm just want people to be mindful, because it's hard. It's hard. But before I leave you, I'm gonna leave you with this. I'm gonna leave you with a little B-roll. And thank you all for everything, for all the support and all the love, and thank you for the people who have sent cards to the P.O. box. Thank you for people who have sent donations and things like that. Bless your hearts, you angels. Just thank you to everybody. Really, it is not missed on me. I do not take it for granted, and I appreciate it. And big hugs to all of you. So don't be a stranger. Come back and see me, and I will talk at you later. Bye. Love you, mean it. Love you, mean it. Bye, y'all.